Do you see how this could be a possible plus for these women?
I mean, I think anybody is redeemable, right? If you want to come back, if you want to be renewed and changed, you can make those changes for yourself. I think that for these women, they're gonna have to meet men who don't know them, right? They're gonna have to meet men who've never heard of Brittany Renner, who've never heard of Black China before, so that they can ease who they were into that relationship in a meaningful way. But first, they're gonna have to be who they want to be, right? That's who that man is gonna have to see. And I think that there's like culture, right? We've seen Black features not be in style all the way to their in style, these fillers and all of this stuff is growing pains for these young women. And I think that if they are being authentically a new self, have at it, girls. Welcome to the boring side of life where, we keep our pants on and don't show our ass cracks.
Baby, I remember when at church, if you wore a skirt too short, they put that prayer cloth over your knees. Okay. Like, this is what I grew up with. Like, that's how I grew up. You were very mindful. And even when things were low cut or a little low cut, my mama would come in and sew a handkerchief in a heartbeat. Okay. So what I grew up is very different from what I was seeing. But then again, I have to share with y'all. So I also was so fascinated with groups like Vanity Six. I am a huge Prince fan. I was 8 years old and fell in love with his first album. So I was a Prince fan long before Vanity Six came along. But when Vanity Six came along, I wanted to be one of those girls too. So even though I hid that from Mama said I could have that poster that had to stay on the back of the door. That couldn't go where nobody else could see it. But how do you balance this? How do you balance this for our children? Lindsay, how do you think that we can balance this to show that your worth is not your body and that society is showing them that it is?
Yeah, I think that comes into, we just have to pour into them as much as possible because we can't control what's on the TV. Well, if we collectively gathered together, we could. And if we said we are going to watch this and hit them where their pockets are, then we could. But are we really going to do that? As of right now, I don't see that happening. So we can't control, with that statement being said, what is shown on TV, what's shown on social media, what's shown outside of your household. And we also can't, seclude them and keep them covered only to our household. So we have to do as much pouring into them as possible. Try to be the example because kids are going to do what you do more than they'll do what you say. So try to lead by example and try to find other people that are along that same mind frame. Not that you want to surround yourself with the same all the time. It's good to have a diverse group of opinions and backgrounds and all of those things, but you get what I mean. Just try to find other people who will do the same and are on that same trajectory as you as well, because we have to go back to taking a village to raise a kid. Shoot, it takes a village to raise an adult. We all need each other as a child and even as adults. So we've got to create that village like we used to.
I grew up in a village, and I tell you what, when I was a kid and growing up in the country, I thought to myself, I can't wait to get up out of here.